You're the superhero of your own fucking story. Let's get into it. Because you know what? I heard a quote the other day from Cat Williams. Can't believe we're quoting Cat Williams. But you know what? He's a real one. He's a real one. And the quote was this. It blew me away. And I just want to start with this one. If you can make a list of every single atrocity that you have survived, if you can write it all down on a list, and you are still here, then you and can do something with this, then you have the same list and the same story of every single superhero, of every single autobiography, of every single documentary where you were rooting for the hero. That's right. You're watching your own story. That's what you have in common. And Cat Williams said, and if you've survived all of this and you can write it down on a list, then you're made of the same stuff and you can now go become your own fucking superhero. Boom. You know, because if we think about it for just a second, every good superhero story starts with Act 1 and everything gets blown away, right? So you have your villain origin story, is what I would like to call it. And the villain origin story always has the same superhero math. Super horrible tragedy that happens, villain comes into the picture, arc is created, superhero overcomes everything, we all clap and cheer, and we're like, oh, I want to be like Superman, I want to be like Batman, I want to be like that documentary, I want to be like that person over there, and we're clapping for all these other people. But you have to understand that every single person in your reality is a version of you. And so therefore, your survival of that list was your superhero math, your arc, to now have your origin story and the villain equals activating your superpowers. Think about it. Think about it. Come with me for just a second. You know you have a list. You made it this far, and you didn't come this far just to come this far. Well, let's talk about it for a second, right? Batman. Parents murdered. Okay. Superman. Planet blows up. Wonder Woman. Home and family gets burned to the ground and she watches the whole thing. Wonder Woman. Okay. So you're the origin story, and the villain only comes in the first act. And you see, you're presented with all of the atrocities because then you have a choice point. A place where you can make that choice. Do you stay in the trauma and relive that story over and over and over again for the rest of your life? Or do you take that list and turn it into something powerful, something to be celebrated, something to manifest in this life? Let's start with my list. I'll share it. Orphaned, age 11. In a country where my mother's family was back in Colombia. My father kept my brothers and gave me away. Abused in said orphanage to the degree that I still can't talk about the most of it publicly. Okay. Married my next abuser. Became an alcoholic. Was mentally, verbally, and financially abused in that marriage. Couldn't get out. Lost all 5 of my pregnancies. C-section scar. No baby. My ex tried to ruin me financially. And in 2016, after I divorced him, I attempted to kill myself. Now, fast forward 10 years later, I had a choice point. I had a choice point that existed just like Batman, just like Superman, just like Wonder Woman, just like every autobiography that you love to read, just about every hero that you love to watch and cheer on. And you have to become the superhero of your fucking story. So in saying all of this, you have to understand that the choice point is your opportunity to activate your superpowers, to redirect the story. One of the things that I think is so tremendous about all of us is that we root for these people, but we don't realize that we're the person that we're watching. And we don't give ourselves the credit and the forethought that, wow, look at everything that you've survived. Everything you've survived would have killed most people. It would have absolutely killed most people, but not us, not you. Okay? So, hearing this, I want you to remember that not making a choice is your choice. Not changing is your choice. You have chosen that as your choice point. And so many of us know people who are just stuck in that. And then we end up feeling bad for them or sorry for them or some sort of energy that is wasted. And we say, oh, but you don't know how they got here. You don't know their story. No, we know that they didn't make a choice after the story and the opportunity to choose their superpower wasn't chosen. And so that leads me into another thought. A while back ago, I was watching an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist. I'm sure you all know him. If you watch STEM on TikTok, if you watch anything planetary or astro related, you're always going to see a Neil Tyson deGrasse. He's famous. And he was asked in an interview, can you prove that we're in a simulation? And I was like, oh, wait a second. You got to tell me. I know we are. Tell me. Prove it to me, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Talk to me. Talk sweet to me. Tell me. And he said, the better question is, prove to me that we are not in a simulation. And when you look at all of those factors and you get to think about that, what are you going to come up with? Probably the same conclusion that he did, that we are in some sort of simulation. But if we are in some sort of simulation, then you're the main character, right? Every main character in every story had hard choices. Okay. First, they had the trauma in Act 1, the villain to appear in their story, to overcome, to foreshadow and brooding all of the things that were going to happen to our beloved main character, our superhero. And then their superpowers are activated. All of a sudden, now that the thing fell on them, the parent died, all of that happened. And now they are their superhero. And then they become the superhero to everyone else. Batman didn't get the Batcave by thinking positively, right? Superman didn't come in here to find his new point of origin by floating through space. They all had to make choices. And so if this is a simulation, and I believe that there is so much scientific evidence to prove more so that we are than we are not, then what does it say about your choices to become a human being and to assimilate to, what did Dolores call it? Canon. What did Dolores Cannon call it? Incarnate here onto Earth, the teaching planet. If you came for your superhero story, your origin story, you needed a villain. You needed a villain. You needed the trauma in order for you to evolve. What does that mean? More than likely, you have been chosen and you are playing in the wrong field. The simulation is only reacting to what you're willing to choose. And every time you choose safety you get a smaller reality. You choose it because you don't want to deal with the trauma anymore. You choose it because you think that there's no other way to do it. You choose it because it's the only choice you've ever made. It's time to make a different choice. Your choice point. The universe believes that you can handle this. You see, the universe said you will, and God created everything, in my opinion, and the universe is everything in that wake. So when I refer to the universe, I'm referring to the super energy of the creator, the remnants of what we're in. The galaxies, the solar systems, the planets, all of it. And you could become any single version of yourself, any version. If you don't have people hating you, you're not doing it right. If you don't have people criticizing you, you're playing small. You're boring. You have not met the archetype of your story. And in this simulation where you are the main character, the trauma happened, act one happened, the villain happened, all of it happened. And your decision was no decision, then that is a choice. You working at that place that you hate, that is your choice. You deciding on a partner in life, that is your choice. You leaving that partner, you leaving that job, you going out and becoming your own superhero, rewriting your story so we can all clap at the end, is a choice. That's how you manifest from your supernatural state. That's how you become supernatural. You came here to become the superhero of your own fucking story. Because nothing changes until you decide. And if you decide not to change, then that's your choice. So what can we do about it right now? All right. So what I want you to do is just make a list. Whether it takes 1 day, 2 days, 5 boxes of Kleenex, write it all out. Trust me, okay? You're watching your own story right now. And what I want you to do is take that list and write out every single thing. Remember how I did it? Orphaned, abused, lost all my babies, alcoholic, I've been sober now 10 years, financial ruin and suicide in 2026, to then use all of that energy and all of that passion and all of that archetype to pick up a microphone 5 years ago and start writing my own story. And it was one thing after another. It was the choice to get out of bed every single day. It was the choice to put down the alcohol. It was the choice to go back to school. It was the choice to try to heal. It was the choice to try to expand. It was the choice to forgive. It was the choice to let go. It was a choice to create and stop consuming. And so I want you to write that list. Write it all the way down, whether it's 5 things or 50,000 things. And then at the bottom of the list, I want you to use the Cat Williams quote. And let me give you the exact quote, okay? Because I was paraphrasing it earlier, but I want you guys to have it. So you write it on there exactly the way it is. All right. If you can list every fucked up thing that has ever happened to you in your life, and you can put that on a list, and you somehow survived, to then be put in a position where you can still make stuff happen, that's what you have in common with every story of every superhero, of every documentary, of every time you have cheered to see how it ending. Look at how much has happened. Okay? So that you can rise. Put that quote or some variation of that quote at the bottom of that list, all right? And then I want you to say and write, I'm watching my own superhero origin story. That's what that list was. That was your superhero hero origin story. Who was the villain? Squashed. Who's the hero? You. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're a fucking superhero, man. Look at everything that you survived. Look at everything that you have become in spite of everything that was supposed to take you down. Who else is a superhero but you? Seriously, you have got to stand in your Superman stance. I'm standing up in my Superwoman stance. Yep, hands on hips, head back, cape flying in my mind. You're the documentary. You're the superhero. We just haven't put a cape on you yet. You just haven't named it yet. You haven't decided that you're the superhero of your own fucking story, but today you are. All right? Today is the day that you are. You are the superhero. No loser. No fucking loser is allowed to write your story. You're not allowed to say the villain won. You're not allowed to say I couldn't manifest it. You know why? Because you just listened to how you can do it. You just heard it right now. But I told that quote in my Secret Society of Manifestors workshop last week. And I can't tell you how many people messaged me about that being inspiring and that being emotional and that being just life-changing for them to hear this. And you are that version. And I want to tell you about a little something I have coming up in January that's going to help you rewrite your superhero story. I want you to spend the first 5 weeks of 2026 with me. I have a 5-week program with 11 live workshops, you and I, on Zoom, hashing it out. And in every single session, it's recorded, so you can go back and watch it later, or if you can't make a session, you'll never miss one. And we are going to rewrite your 4 contracts. Your soul contract with your ancestors, your soul contract with your love, whether it's your love life or being in love with you, because if you're not in love with you, you cannot attract the biggest and the best version into your life. Your health contract, because without health, wealth doesn't matter. And your money, your abundance, your wealth contract. We're going to rewrite your story together. You and I will be in a group with all of these other creators who are not broken, who are not damaged, who are ready to write their fucking superhero story right now. If this is a simulation, and it is, you're the main character. So of course you can invest in yourself. Of course you can take 5 weeks to rewrite everything in soul contract with me. What if you did that? Where would you be right now if you had done your annual workshop with me last year? All right. But last year is gone. 2026 in numerology is the year of 1. That means that we are writing our contracts for the next decade. And these seats are limited. And yes, there's payment plans. And there's a discount until the end of November 30th. But you are not going to allow yourself to not be the main character anymore. Manifest, so it's called Soul Contract 2026. Manifest your biggest, bravest, most abundant year ever. Do you hear me? Manifest your biggest, bravest, most abundant year ever. The enrollment just opened on 11/1. If you're watching this live or you're watching this in real time on the day it came out, yesterday was 11/11. That portal is open. And so now you have a chance to not allow the villain, not allow the losers to tell your story, to get to write your story. You are going to spend those 5 weeks, 11 sessions, rewriting every single thing from that list to come out and be that supernatural superhero that you are. Now, if you don't know, now you do, because here's how we close every single session. We say this mantra: everything is always working out for me, and everything is always working out for us. Why? Can't pay the bills? Everything's working out for you. Boyfriend broke up with you? Everything's working out for you. Your wife left you? Everything is working out for you. Got 4 flat tires and then you went outside and found out you had a 5th one, didn't even have 5 tires? Everything is working out for you. And so you have to have that embodiment. And in case I haven't said it yet, my name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and this is Manifesting Miracles, a podcast that has nearly 1 million downloads. Why? Without a penny, without a guest, without anything. Because at the choice point, I chose to become my superhero and show you how to do that for yourself. Trust me. When you work with me, when you invest in yourself like this, you will never be let down. All right, so let's go into the mantra and wrap. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Us again. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything. Everything, my beloved, my beloved, my beloved. I love you. I love you. I love you. Everything is always working out for us. All right, we did it. Now it's time for you to do that list. Drop into the comments exactly what your superhero name would be. Let's claim it. Let's own it. I am so proud of you. I cannot wait to meet you in January in Soul Contract 2026 to rewrite your story. Producers, cue that motherfucking music.